Hi and good evening and happy Tu B'Av, everybody. I asked in a few places yesterday and the day before for people to share questions that they have with me, questions about their marriage, because Tu B'Av is not actually a holiday about romantic love. It's definitely not a holiday about hookup culture. It's a holiday about marriage that celebrates married love specifically. So I'm here to help people have more love in their marriage. That's my job, and that's what I try to do. Uh, there were two main themes that came up over and over again. Of course, there were other questions too. There's no limit to the kind of questions that people can have. And I'll start with the first one, which had a lot to do with I would love to do things together, but I'm always too tired. We're always too tired. When we spend time together, all we want to do is go to sleep. We have no energy. Like, we think about making plans, but who can really go through so many hoops just to see a movie or go out to dinner or whatever? So there are a couple of questions that if I was actually meeting with a coaching client and this issue came up, there are a couple of questions that I would ask to try to clarify what's really going on. First of all, is this true about everything in your life? Do you have energy for anything? Are you always tired about everything? Are you also tired about work? Are you tired about hobbies? Are you too tired to spend time with your friends, with your parents, with your kids, whatever? Like, if this is all about your life, if your whole life is this way, then uh, then it's one issue. But if there are some things in your life that you actually are enthusiastic about and energetic about, and that no matter what you show up for them because you're still committed to them, or because you feel like you have no choice, or whatever the considerations are, then I would want to try to understand what the difference is between the things where I do have energy and the things where I don't have energy. I would ask a question that sounds deceptively simple, which can be extremely challenging to answer, which is, do you really want to spend time together? Do you really want to have a date night? Hi, Martine. Is this really something you want to do? Because I'll tell you something about date nights, for example. A lot of people go to like a class about how to communicate better with your partner, or how to improve your marriage, or some kind of a workshop like that. And they'll be told that, you must have regular date nights. If you want to have a happy marriage, you must have regular date nights. And if only one person went to the class, or if only one person thinks that this is true, then the date night itself can become a subject of struggle and conflict. And instead of bringing us together, it just becomes another thing that we disagree about. So there isn't one right way to be happily married. And I don't think that date nights are required. For a lot of people, they're a great way to fit in couples time in a really, really busy life. So it can help, it can be, but it's not another thing that you gotta. It's not a have to. It's not necessary, it's not required, it's optional. So do you want to? Does your husband or wife want to? If you both want to, then I think as two adult people who want to do something together, you can find a way to do it without being too tired. I once heard from a teacher of mine who's a married woman with many, many, many children, and they're a Shomer Shabbat family. That means that she finishes all her cleaning and cooking for Shabbat by Friday afternoon, and she told us, the women in her class, that she takes a nap every Friday before Shabbat, including in the winter when Shabbat starts at like 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Now, she's a very busy woman. She also teaches. She's the rabbi's wife. She has a lot of communal responsibilities. She said, look, I know what my priorities are. My priorities are to come to the Shabbat table well rested, dressed nicely, and ready to enjoy Shabbat dinner with my family. That's my priority. And she does whatever it takes, whether it's cooking earlier or cooking less, or cleaning earlier or cleaning less, or paying somebody else to help her, or buying prepared food, whatever the solution is that she finds, she takes that nap. So I think it's important to separate the mental loops that we get stuck in. We have to, but I don't really want to, but it's never going to work, from just like a drama-free, practical approach to the question, do I want to? And if I do, then what practical steps do I need to make it work? And if I don't want to, that doesn't necessarily mean that I don't love my partner or that I don't want to spend time with them. Maybe I have a different way. And about that, I would say also, first of all, to write all this down. If you didn't already bring paper and something to write with, then come back and watch the recording and start keeping like a marriage journal. It doesn't have to take a lot of time. It could take a minute or two every day. But where you write things down like, what do I really want from my marriage? What do I like about spending time together? What kind of time do I enjoy spending together? Do I enjoy spending time together as a family, my partner and also the kids? Do we want private time together? Do we want private time at home? Maybe after we take the kids to school or gone in the morning, we could then come back home and spend time together before work, depending on what kind of a job you have. Do I want it to be in the evening? Am I a morning person? Am I a night person? Do we enjoy going out to like cultural events where we can hear a show or watch a movie? Or do we actually want to go someplace quiet so that we can talk because we love to talk? Find out what it is you really want and make a plan to do that. Don't let like the cultural message, you have to do it like this, you have to do it like that. Just tune. There's only two people in this marriage, you and their partner and your partner, and you're the only two people whose opinions count. So figure out what it is you want, try to understand better what your partner wants, and figure out where those wants work together. So that's a little bit about date nights. And then I want to talk about moving beyond right and wrong. That was another thing that came up very strongly. All of us, all people, I think, definitely married people, and I think especially women, tend to have ideas about the right way to do things. So right way and a wrong way to do everything. It doesn't matter if it's how to fill the dishwasher or what the kids are supposed to wear to gone, or how important it is to be on time or not important it is to be on time. Date nights, of course, whether they are or not necessary, and an endless list of things. When something happens that's not the way I like, I tend not to be self-aware enough to say, oh, I like it the other way. I don't say that. I say, oh, that's not the right way to do things. Now, I'm not doing it because I'm nasty or manipulative. People just tend to be a bit self-interested. And a very simple way to try to get what I want is to present what I want as the right way. I don't think about it consciously. It just comes out that way. It just seems obvious to me that the way I do things is the right way. And so everybody else should also do them my way. Because I'm not thinking of it as my way. I'm thinking of it as the right way. But that person who I'm married to also thinks that their way is the right way. He also is self-interested, or she. And doesn't make them a bad person. We just are that way. We like to have things our way, and we tend to conflate my way with the right way. So what can you do? Well, first of all, it helps to take, as a thought experiment, to take the other person's perspective. To say, as much as I like to get my way, maybe we should even take a step back a bit. Every time I hear myself saying, oh, that's not the right way, I should ask myself, is this about the right way or is this about my way? There's nothing wrong, by the way, with wanting things to be my way. It's just that once I can call it by its proper name, oh, that's not the way I like to do things, I might feel a whole lot less defensive about it necessarily going that way, because I realize that it's just my way. In the same way that I have my way, he has his way. So that's first of all, try changing it from the right way to the way I like things to go. And the second thing is to try to understand that there's another person here who also has things that they like done their way, and try to imagine what it feels like to be that other person. Now, that other person isn't just a stranger. Even if he was, it might be interesting to take their perspective. But especially if we're a married couple with kids, he's their father. I'm speaking in the woman's voice because I'm a woman, okay? Everything I say about husbands applies equally to wives. I'm just going to say that once, get it over with. He's their father, the same way that I'm their mother. And if we disagree, it's important to call it disagreement. I want it this way, you want it that way. It's not I'm right, you're wrong. It's not written anywhere that it must be like this and not like that. just another caveat, which we have to say in the 21st century, I'm talking about normative people who have normative disagreements. Okay, we're not talking about people with psychopathic ways of behavior. That they don't come to coaching, they're not my clients, they're not relevant to the discussion. I'm talking about normal people who disagree about normal things. There's not a right way or wrong way. Maybe I want my girl to go to Gan in pigtails, and he wants her to go to Gan with loose hair, or the other way around. A lot of women will complain that when it's the father's turn to get the kids, especially the girls, dressed for Gan, that the socks don't match, or the shoes don't match, or their outfits are inappropriate, and that may all be true. But I think it's really important to give our partner the respect that they also care about their kids. And maybe they have different ideas than I do about what's important, but it's not because they care less. And accepting the other person who I decided to be married to, as a complete person and not just a checklist where I say, oh yeah, this part I like, that part I don't like. This part is okay, no, that part has to go. This thing needs to change. Nobody gets married so that their partner can fix them up. Nobody wants to be remade in the image of their partner. If we're truly, truly blessed, our partner inspires us to be a better version of ourselves every day. But we're the ones who are choosing to make the change and to be more like the wonderful person that our partner sees in us. It's not our partner saying, okay, listen, do this, do that, fix this, fix that. Dress like this, don't dress like that. I think that most people would not be really receptive to that kind of interaction, and we would call it criticism. And even though we have this phrase called constructive criticism, I'll tell you something, I actually don't believe in constructive criticism. I have never yet met a person who enjoyed being criticized and who felt that it was constructive. So if my partner did everything the way I like to all the time, I would be very suspicious. I don't think that that's how normal, healthy, well-adjusted people behave. I'm not saying that we have to fight with each other, but I married a person, not a pet. I married a person who has a complete personality, a character, a worldview, who has all kinds of ideas about what's good for himself, what's good for us, what's good for our family, what's good for the kids. And I think that the more I can accept him as a complete human being and not just, oh, give me the good parts only, the better we're going to get along. That can be difficult sometimes. It's a very different way of looking at the relationship, especially for women who have a lot riding on the kids behaving in a certain way or the house looking a certain way. We feel that it reflects who we are, and if it isn't done properly, it somehow reflects poorly on us. So yes, it can be challenging. I have a lot of ideas about the small steps that anybody who wants to learn how to do that better can take. To wrap up, I discussed two kinds of marriage questions that I heard over and over again from people. One has to do with, yeah, I want to do things together, but we're always too tired. And how trying to think about it in a fresh way and saying, if this relationship is really important to me and spending time together is really important to me, how can I find a way to do that? It doesn't necessarily have to be a date night, which is very helpful to many people, but I don't think is required. It's not the only way to spend quality time together. Think about what quality time means to you and make a plan to achieve it. And the second one is learning to accept our partner as a complete person, basically behaving like the partner that I want to have. Right? I want to be accepted, not just accepted, I want to be loved as the complete person I am, including all the things about me which are not perfect. I said that very quietly so that no women have a heart attack, but I actually am most definitely not perfect. I'm pretty great, but I'm not perfect. And I want to be loved as the complete person that I am. I don't want to feel like I'm only loved for the parts of me that are fun or comfortable or that work the way my husband wants them to work. And I think it's really important to treat him that way, because that kind of treatment invites the same kind of treatment back. So I think that's a really good way to go about things. I think using a notebook to write down the places that are difficult for me and starting to ask myself questions on paper can be a very, very helpful way of starting to create order in my thoughts and find out what questions I really have, what problems I really have. Not just, oh my God, everything is a mess. We can't tackle everything at once. The way to solve problems is one little thing at a time. A notebook or a journal is a really great way to go about that. And of course, you can reach out to me if you have any questions. So get your priorities straight. Get that journal, use it to help you along the way. Practice being the partner that you want to have, and have a really happy Tu B'Av. Thank you, everyone, for joining me. Bye.